receipt of it. Yes,
We can
Yes.
keep it though, right?
you certainly can. That is your copy. Hi, Luther.
How you doing?
How are you?
Good. I'm gonna, once you start the meeting there, I'd like to be able to jump ahead and turn, because I'm actually in another meeting that I came out of. And I just give you my update on the town board. And
Yeah.
then I can get the notes from the meeting later from you. Will that be okay?
Yep. Yes.
Okay,
Okay.
I'll do roll call real quick. Okay, so Deputy Chairwoman Lederman,
Here.
Member Williver,
Here.
Member Hoke,
Here.
and Member Kraus.
Here.
All right.
Okay, then we'll skip right to number 7, the report from the town board liaison. Doing this, let the minutes show that this is being done at the request of the town board liaison.
Correct. Okay, Luther, go ahead.
Okay, I'd like to report that, some of you may have heard that town has been recognized as a tree city. So that's good.
Yes.
We also are moving forward. Hang on a second. Where the solar, we were working very close with the solar law to update it with the code committee. And we have found a lot of things, that we're all learning, especially if these units burn, what chemicals they put in the ground. So now we're thinking of modifying the law to help the homeowners who put these in and what to look for should these units burn at their own house and they have well water and so forth. So we're gonna attempt to implement to help them what to look for should that happen. We also have commercial property code coming up to be changed, and we're working on putting the pervious material in so that they can have drainage through the parking lot, asphalt or geopave, things like that. So that got put into adapted over last night. The law still hasn't passed, but we did add it. I think those are the primary things that I had to report on. Has anybody got any questions for me or anything, or?
Has there been any update that you're aware of on the Gola Road property?
No, I have no update at all on that.
Thank you.
No.
So,
The only thing we did find out, there is one, I mean, not that it affects this board, but the courts of New York State knocked down the state's blanket rule for the solar farms, giving them a cheaper rate. So that's still in the court system, but hopefully, they'll be more subject to a commercial rate than a reduced agricultural rate of some nature. That is what's going on in the courts right now. So we'll see how that works out.
okay, you have a question?
I doubt there's anything new on Dollar General, but do you know anything at all about it?
Well, it's going to be a dollar market or a general market, not a Dollar General. It's the same company, but this is all going to be fresh food, like a mini Wegmans, right? I'm sure they're going to have some things in there that you would find at a Dollar General, but even right now, nothing is formal from them. It's strictly
Hypothetical.
information gathering on their end. Can they do this? Will we give it to them? So forth. What's the concept of the town? So it's nothing official, and but that's where they're coming from. I know they're going to go to the zoning board this month and planning board, I guess, but it's still nothing official that I'm aware of that's been submitted. No.
Nothing in favor of it from anybody. And the town law does not allow it. It exceeds the maximum square footage. Besides which it does not belong in Rush. That's my opinion. But that's the opinion of everyone who has weighed in.
Okay, I'm gonna have to ask you to say that one more time, please, because I'm getting a little bit of an echo through here, through the microphone system, so try it again.
Just everyone who has chimed in has opposed it. And it does not even meet the town zoning requirements. It exceeds the square footage. And in my opinion, and in the opinion of everyone I've heard from, it does not fit in the town of Rush. There are so many others within 6 minutes or so.
But they're not fresh market. It's all only frozen.
Well, you've got Wegmans and Marketplace.
I know, but we used to have Big M.
Yeah,
I mean, the socialization of Big M was like, I mean, it was so important.
it was the community center. It was unique,
Right.
but
Okay,
So I
the
guess,
trouble is, there's nothing formal has come our way. It's all questions that they come into town and ask about. So we can't really, the planning board has to have something official to come to them and say officially, no, you can't do that, or yes, you can do that. The exceedance of the 10,000 square feet is by a few hundred feet, and that's to hold, from what I understand, is to hold the larger cooling refrigerators and the freezers because of the food that they're going to be having. It's going to be more of a market. But again, we can't tell them you can't come and talk to the town. That's all they're doing right now. There's no official submittal of anything.
have requested zoning variances. That is official, was tabled and will be reopened this next week, a week from tonight. And that is formal. If the zoning board grants the variances,
so Pat, you're saying that there is a formal zoning request in front of the zoning board.
Mhm.
yes.
Has there been a public hearing scheduled?
Yes, it
Yes.
started in the February meeting.
It was 10.
As these people well know. It was tabled a week from tonight. It will continue, but that's very formal. That's a first step.
Okay, so is the public hearing going to be a week from tonight?
It's a
Yes,
continuation.
it's a continuation.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
at the
was
zoning
left-
meeting?
Yes, it was left open last month for more information, which they have provided to us. So that will be happening next Thursday at 7 PM. Victor, the representative for is actually not going to be in person, but he will be on Zoom. So but it is a continuation of a public hearing that is based on, the variances are based on right now a hypothetical situation. It's not, they have not, as far as I know, purchased the property yet. So it is in the, they're basically looking at it as, all right, if we buy this piece of property, what can we do here? Would we be able to do this particular store? These variances are based on that hypothetical. They will have to come before the planning board if the zoning variances are approved, and that will be a formal application process with site plans, with everything else. So that is kind of where it's at right now, but we technically do not have an actual site plan. We didn't have a site plan prior to this. It's it's laid out like it would be for these variances, but it's not an actual formal project right now.
So a seeker wouldn't, they would do a seeker once.
They
it's
will
clear,
have to,
Correct.
they will have to do that, and that will
Once it's-
probably be under the planning board.
But the planning board will not even look at it if the zoning board does not grant the variances.
Correct.
So that's where it's at right now. It's a crucial.
Yeah, if the
first
zoning board doesn't grant the variances, the Dollar General store probably won't submit a proposal. I think that's the.
Unless they want to shrink.
Right,
step.
right.
That's why this
Mhm.
timing is
Just like up at the
so
park.
important. And many people in Rush do not know anything about it.
Mhm.
Okay, I think that could, anything else on the town board liaison report?
No, at this point, that's all I got. I know, the Dollar General or Dollar Market is gonna be a hot subject, and, we're gonna do the best we can. I mean, I personally wouldn't mind seeing something like that. Maybe we can downsize it, get it down maybe 6,000 feet. I don't know. But they do have a lot of things they have to work against. They got a wetland behind them. They have, a tough area, it's residential, backside, front side. So we have things that we have to watch out for them, and we have to hopefully have some faith in our planning board and zoning boards that they do the right thing.
So we've already mentioned some of those issues in past reports and recommendations.
It's in our minutes.
Yeah, we
From
mentioned
last time.
the wetland concerns and other things. Okay, I think we need to move on. We have the minutes from the last board meeting. If there are any questions or suggested corrections, we can talk about that now. Otherwise, I'll need a motion to approve.
I can make a motion to approve.
A second.
Okay,
All right, I'm gonna jump off.
okay.
Thanks, Luther.
Thanks, Luther.
Okay,
All right, Deputy Chairwoman Liederman,
Aye.
Member Williver,
I,
Member Hope,
I,
and Member Kraus. All right.
And notation about the next meeting date, April 10th. I'll be out of town that week, but I should be back by April 10th. I know you're gonna need to zoom in.
Yeah.
Any
Is
other,
Dave gonna be back?
I'm not
I-
sure.
I was gonna ask tonight,
He's
he was
not here.
gone.
I thought the other day, it sounded like he was taking a short trip, so I think
because this
he'll
is
be
with the
back.
guys, that
Yeah.
that annual, their.
They're
annual-
fishing
Yes.
trip, right?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
all right, so Beth, you said you'll be zooming
I'll be
in.
zooming.
Okay, so I would assume Dave's going to be back.
When you said when a person zooms in, they don't count as quorum, is that correct?
So there's been up and down information on that, but I would say at this point, probably not, that they wouldn't be able to vote.
Let's see, now before we get into the permits, we sort of have new business being presented to us, which is fine. We've never actually dealt with the question about the public speaking to the Conservation Board. So I think, given the fact that as of this moment, we have a request, and it might be a good idea if we address the broader issue first. Personally, we unlike the zoning board and the planning board, we don't sponsor public hearings. So I would, my off the cuff opinion would be that we need, some way for people to speak with us if they
Well,
choose.
Down here with public comments,
That's true, we do have that there.
but yeah, maybe it's in the
Maybe
wrong
Put
spot.
it-
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe move something.
Yeah,
that
with
up.
people here, can we move it up?
Yeah.
I think, yes,
Yeah.
I think that just we moved up the
Yeah.
town board liaison report, so. Yes, I guess, and come to think of it, the people on Zoom sometimes have commented at the end,
Mhm.
I forgot that we've always had that as a possibility right on the agenda. So, I guess, so I think, the people who want to address us probably state your name and address for the, for the
Let me
record.
get a mic here, and actually, if you want to stay seated, Katie, you don't have to get on if you don't want to. But let me get you a mic at least, and that way we can hear you and.
But I just want to add that at the Dollar General presentation, February zoning board, we could not hear what he was saying.
I know, and I was actually, it was interesting to do. And it was interesting because he was sitting right in front of those 4 mics, and normally you can hear really well from those, not so much sometimes from this. And so I don't know, really, I mean, I did hear him when I went back and listened for my meeting minutes. I could hear him then, but it was, yeah, that was up to the chairman of the zoning. He had him come up and sit up here. But the mics were there, so I think Victor is kind of lower speaking in terms of his tone, but yeah, it was a little difficult. So this next time he'll be on Zoom, so it will be better.
It'll be loud.
Yes.
You can turn up the volume.
Yes, exactly.
And I'll ask you to tell us, what you wanted to share with us. I will reserve the right to limit the time frame as needed, but go right ahead.
Hi, all. Thank you for letting us come to your meeting. I'm Katie Rice at 6 Nelson Parkway. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. I guess I don't know anyone to ask over there, but we are the property that's directly behind the Dollar General. So we have a couple of concerns, but my biggest concern that you might have heard me share at other meetings, I'm trying to just make sure everyone is aware, is the flooding is pretty significant. So my property, and we're monitoring, and you can see there's a video on Facebook that I put on our community page. Even right now, it's like, I was telling everybody actually that you go out to the backyard even every spring and your foot like sinks like 6 inches anyways, and we can't mow until May, like baseline. And the other, I think it was last weekend, with just a very light rain, and then there was some snow runoff. But it's normally the dry stream bed that's between our property and with the proposed site, their back of their yard. And it's normally dry in most of the year, but it was like roaring, and that's the video that I put on Facebook. And we are a little worried about this weekend's rain, and we're going to be monitoring that too. But all of that back of that property there's a large section of woods that I am actually grateful for, because I think it sucks up some of the water as it is. And I do fear that obviously it's their property, not mine, but I do fear without those trees, it's going to be even worse flooding. And then obviously with a large building and also a large parking lot, that will also not help. And it's also higher elevation, I believe. I'm pretty positive. Like I look up to see it. I don't know the actual, but it's going to drain down. And then you all know the history of the flooding. And I actually worry about this building I was saying last night, because it was like roaring across just last weekend, and it goes to the intersection. And there's that small, like, I don't know what you want to call it, but underneath the intersection.
Yeah.
Yes. But this weekend we're going to be watching, and I'll post if there's more, but that's one of our main concerns. We have others like, the light pollution, the noise behind our property. I was sharing that we have a lot of mostly clay in our backyard, which is part of the problem with the flooding. So I suspect that it's even like the septic situation is not going to be good, in my opinion. I don't know what that plan is. We are worried about, if they have dumpsters or garbage, and the impact of what wildlife it's going to draw to the area, like rats, mice, but even the bear that comes around Rush every so often, right into residential. So that's a concern. Traffic is another concern. Maybe, I don't know, that we can talk with others about that too. And obviously like the aesthetics, property values, but the flooding is like genuinely a big.
Yeah, my name is Carla Lathrop, and I live at number 4. So my property is, if you pull on to Nelson Parkway and you drive straight through the green circle in the middle, we're straight back. My property backs up to Chase's. But if you walk out my back door to sit on my patio and you look to the left, the Dollar General would be right there. The first proposed site is right there. But getting to the water issue, we watch that water rise. We watch it rise across, go across number 5's yard, and it spills onto Katie at number 6. And then it heads into town. In 2013, when the town flooded, our basement flooded, and it was because of all of that water that was there.
Where does it come from?
There- Oh, no, I think there's water runoff that goes across Chase's behind their greenhouses.
Right, and
That
they
goes across.
built some kind of pond or.
Yeah,
something.
I heard of a
Something.
retention
I
pond,
believe they
but
have a retention pond,
Uh-huh,
but
so it's runoff,
I'm not entirely sure where their retention pond is located on their property.
right, I'm not
But-
either.
Yeah, so, and I know they put in some tiles. At one point in time, there were some drainage tiles that were put in, but I'm also not aware of where they were located.
Uh-huh,
But that runoff goes across behind their greenhouses, cuts through that swath of number 5 and behind number 6. And then into that area in the culvert
Mhm.
that comes through town.
Even last weekend, there was like a stream through Jim's lawn. Like it's not the dry creek beds, it's there too. That's what I posted, but it's like his actual backyard has a stream.
I have a video of that I could share with you. If you're interested in seeing it, and that was just the light rain and the snow runoff.
no, yeah, this.
It wasn't even a heavy rain. There have been times when it's been a heavy rain and it's just been unbelievable, the runoff through there. And I wish over the years, I wish I had recorded it, but I never thought we were gonna get to this.
Mhm.
And also the other problem is we've lost a lot of trees back there in that section at the back of what would be the proposed site. Due to the ash borer beetles. So there's a lot of dead wood in there
Mhm.
that is, isn't stopping up some of that water. And, they're gonna start falling. I know that, the back of number 5's property, he had to have a lot of trees taken down. So, and the water cuts right where those stumps are. That's all part of the stream where it all runs through. So
I'm having trouble visualizing this. So if the water's coming from Chase's, so where does the Dollar General part figure into this?
can I show you this?
Sure.
I think the water starts farther north and behind Chase's.
But that
because-
looks like it would get to them before it gets to where the Big M used to be.
I think further lower.
if you want, I can pull it up here, Carla, if you want me to, just pull it up on Google Maps.
It's north of the
Ooh.
property.
North of that.
Yeah.
I was just gonna show the video.
Oh, okay, you can certainly do
The
that.
map would be helpful though to show you.
Yeah,
I think we're the lower, I think it's like as you were mentioning, like it's like a collection of the area that comes down and then the whole area drains. I didn't know until someone recently told me it drains over underneath the intersection.
so this is part of the video. that I
So this
can
right
see.
here is the Dollar General
Yep.
proposed property.
And then to the right is my house.
And
of
then
that house.
she is
Yep,
right here, right?
yep.
Okay,
And then above that
So the
is
water's
Jim.
coming from down here.
and you guys do have a creek back
Okay,
here
so
too,
yeah, so
don't
there
you?
would be more, you're saying there could be more coming from.
Oh, there always,
Yeah.
there always is. So Jim's stream of his yard, it's like cuts right across
He's
behind
right
that gazebo, but on the grass, there's a stream of water. We have a picture of it. There's a dry creek bed around all the properties. That is the property line, but the
Right
stream
there where
goes.
the arrow is,
No, actually, it's,
it's closer to your house.
Not Chase's.
Oh.
can you zoom out for a second?
It belongs.
If I can reach. So the stream of water that was self-created by the flooding kind of goes across here. And then it collects right here in my backyard, but the actual stream beds are the property lines. Like the dry creek beds, but the problem we're saying is that
Okay.
there's an actual, like this last light rainfall and the snow runoff. There was a literal stream right about here, right, Carla?
Yeah, yeah.
And then there's pools about right here in my property.
Hmm.
And then this right here is what I posted on Facebook.
And are those the dead ash trees, just where you were pointing right in there? Is
This
that all
mix.
ash?
Yeah, so
Oh.
we've all removed ours, but
Yeah.
there's a chunk, there are some new, there's a handful, like a lot of alive trees. I don't know what to say that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
And you
living
can-
trees.
If you expand that back out, you can see where the line is behind the greenhouses.
Yeah.
Right here. That's where it's all coming from. That's-
Where's the
Okay.
pond? Where's the pond that
Far-
they put in?
Farther north,
Is that up here?
up
It might be,
even further.
it might be further up their property.
Can you keep going, Nora?
Yep, I couldn't find it either the other day, but that doesn't mean that it's not there somewhere. I just
Now,
don't.
how
Did you want me to keep
recent
going?
is this picture though?
That's true.
Well, yeah, I don't know.
It says
exactly
20
when this was,
2025,
Oh,
but I don't know.
yeah,
That's just the copyright.
yeah,
they, cause after the last flood, that's when. it
that's
hit.
what, yeah,
So
that's what
it's
Dan told
only,
me.
it's only like maybe 3 years, 4 years old.
Okay,
The pond.
all right.
Yes.
Dan
it-
said
it's,
it was like 2019 when they had there was
Okay,
quite a
6.
bit out
Okay.
here. You know, when
all right. then-
it was pretty
Right.
much flooded around the
Yeah.
whole intersection, but
Had closed the intersection.
Well, he was standing in the middle of it. It was his first day as
Yes.
taking over for at least.
I go, you're
Yeah.
first, you're first. Yeah.
He is, he is, he is. I'm married to him. I know he is cursed. Bad, 0 luck, 0, -0.
Poor guy.
So I think, I think that everything that we've been talking about really coincides with the concerns that we as
Yes.
Conservation Board.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen the record on that, but we have talked about the issue of the drainage and the wetlands and the woodlands and the light pollution.
The trees.
Yeah, I said the woodlands.
The noise pollution.
Do you know, I went into there's the derivation table, had a really interesting thing in it for the Dollar General projected light.
Yes, that
And we
is
talked about
new.
that.
That is new information that just came in.
Oh, okay.
So-
We had talked about that.
Yeah, no,
before.
this is a really interesting graphic.
Yeah,
that
it is, I
shows-
mean, it is, I have, I mean, I can certainly pass it around. Right now, the projections, there is no light on the back of the building. So I know that was a concern. Again, we can't really share those particular documents online. And especially right now, they're just not formal. You know, this isn't a full-on formal project yet. But I can certainly grab that.
We also were worried about the idling trucks in the back between noise and just,
The carbon.
Yeah.
Yeah, the diesel,
Yeah.
exactly.
and just the sound behind.
I mean, we used to get that with, I work in a school, with school buses idling too long.
And that's the property, it's like all residential in the back, and I'm sure they put them in the back.
Yeah.
Oh, they're sure that's why they load and unload.
Yeah, the bays are probably in the back. And from our understanding is their deliveries come at night. So there's gonna be,
Do you have dogs, either of you?
yeah, we both do. So between
I'm
that,
just thinking of my dog.
well, I'm
You
also.
know how long they were there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm also thinking about the fact that my bedroom window faces where the Dollar General would be. So, I mean, whatever light, so now there's supposedly no light back there, but anything idling back there, if it's a nice day and we have our windows open, that's what we're gonna be hearing and possibly smelling.
And then
The
like,
wildlife, like
Yeah. Like rats.
mice, the bear.
You're worried about that bear. He's nice. And there was a mama bear when it was in our.
Sticks to 5 points though, doesn't he? 5 points for.
Yeah, we had him in our backyard with a
Yeah,
baby.
and he's been around Sheldon Road.
I think he was near.
Yes.
You might find a jackpot though with a market.
Right, wanna stay up there.
So we just received this the other day. So this is just kind of, this will be presented on next Thursday, but they did want to just kind of show
And-
just
The blue is their lot.
the blue is the whole thing. Yep.
Their
And
whole
then
lot,
this
okay.
is just the lighting projections for the space, which is surrounding the building.
Okay.
Where's East Henrietta Road on there? do you think?
It's right on the front. This
Here.
closest to me. Yep.
Okay, so is there any action that we need to take at this point?
Well, because it's not in It hasn't been approved by zoning.
Our minutes reflect our concerns, which are very similar last month.
Can I say something? I am an outsider. I'm not well versed with all the processes, so you can tell me, but, and I don't mean this to be mean to anybody, but in my opinion, they didn't read in detail your minutes from the last zoning board. So I just wanted to
They-
share that.
I was gonna, they don't.
Okay.
At all.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
And
You have to
people
find
look
our
at it,
minutes
She
on,
wants it.
line.
I think what will happen, I mean, and generally what happens is they read all of the correspondence before they grant a resolution. So if that happens at this next meeting, they will discuss that further, but they did actually talk to Victor about the concerns from the Conservation Board. And he did address some of those concerns going, through as they kind of, as Lee read some of them. So, I mean, me personally, I think, that would come up probably at this next meeting, so.
Okay, so is there any further action or discussion on this issue before we get to the agenda?
I don't feel, because we talked about, we made comment to flooding, we made comment to the light.
Yeah.
We've
And a porous material. for
Right.
Parking lots.
Mhm.
Well, thank you for sharing your concerns with us. Is there, so, and thank you, you're welcome to stay, for the rest of the meeting. We won't be offended if you choose not to, which is why we moved you ahead on the agenda, so that you can have the option. Yeah, this is,
Thank you for
serious
listening to us
concern.
too.
We
We're trying to go around.
And it's, we just,
Mary Ann spoke, I thought, very well last night. The town board meeting, asking, I know it's not in the hands of the town board right now. Right now, it's the zoning board, and it goes to planning, but she was just pleading for empathy. So people can imagine, I mean, I don't live anywhere near it, I still think it would be a detriment to our town. But think of the people who live right there.
Yeah.
And as Mary Ann said, their savings, their everything is invested in their home. I don't personally see any reason for our town to change our laws to accommodate a gigantic business and harm our own people. If there was no need for a zoning variance, that would be different. If it met all of the codes, then I think you can say we couldn't stop it. But it does not meet the code. They do need variances, and I don't understand why. I mean, we are saying as a conservation board, our concerns for the environment. And we stand by that. They're very serious. To me, even more serious are the concerns of the actual people who live right there, who are going to be subjected to the carcinogens and everything else that they've said and we've said. So, I don't know.
I just want to throw in for your information, I don't know how long you've lived there. But if you weren't here for the big flood, were you here?
We're talking 2013 or
Yeah,
I was there.
that, then my husband was supervisor, then took over for, Frank. And, he talked with the state, that little drainage, they will not do anything to increase that,
Did they ever say why?
the cost.
I was
Place
aware
for
of my
some
house.
money.
I do think a big flood will flood this again.
And the cost will be far worse.
Oh, it will go all the way down, and my cousin lives in the house next to the creek. And she's, twice, she's lost furnaces and things in the basement because it came right up the stairs the first time.
Yeah, sorry, those are. We literally had a brand new uninstalled furnace sitting in our basement waiting to be installed when our basement flooded.
Oh,
So we lost two
oh,
at the same time.
no.
That's terrible.
So, and I'm not, my backyard doesn't back up to it like hers. So-
Uh-huh,
so,
uh-huh.
But it affected, that was the effect.
And we're trying to get people to come out, but every neighbor is upset and worried, even the ones that you may expect to not be worried, they're like all mad. So we're trying to get them to come out. In the meantime, I will go.
You're the biggest stakeholders, so you do need to.
Yeah.
And get them to as well.
But it's this between now and next Thursday. We can get as many people as possible to speak.
Yeah, that's really not for this board to discuss.
Except for all of our concerns, yes, we've expressed them,
Yes,
but are they going to be paid attention to?
well, that's for. us
We
to-
gotta hope.
Be heard. Well, and then we can say it again, we can express concerns about being heard and so. You know, obviously, anybody who
Thank
wants
you.
to can quote us because it's all there in public record.
Right. And also, if you wanna come next week, come a little early and, yeah, I will let Jim and Patrick know.
We'll be here early. That's available.
Okay, yes, same time, same
Thank
place.
you.
Okay, so moving on with the agenda, we have application number 2025-2P. From the Afghan Empowerment Development Community of Rochester. They said they're limited industrial, the proposed use permitted, their support services and administrative.
Is this the
purposes.
one that wanted to do like a gym?
No,
No.
No.
It's more of
No.
a community center.
this is
isn't
more,
it?
yes, and I
And
don't-
are they building it from the ground up?
no,
Oh.
it's 45 High Tech Drive is actually
It's already
there.
there.
It was Forbes,
Oh.
Forbes, I don't know, Forbes, whatever.
Okay,
that
why
they
don't why don't I read this for everyone from their application? Okay, so it says the Afghan Empowerment and Development Community of Rochester, AEDC, is a not-for-profit organization that engages the local Afghan community by fostering better community communication and unity among Afghan families and helping connect them with social services and other tools of success. Proposed specific uses will be administrative offices for the agency, use of the site as a gather place for events, small-scale educational and other community meeting space, cultural events, religious events. They plan to have approximately 5 to 10 staff and volunteers to administer the center. Let's see, they're continuing that. They say no more than approximately 55 individuals will be on site at a given time, might increase with special events. It says they feel approved, the location will enhance the district and maintain the town's mission to provide a primarily agricultural area with single-family homes in a rural setting. Say the mission to the town enhance the town through promotion of community services. Achieve a harmonious presence with adjacent property, providing each with economic benefits and allow Rush to offer robust services within the framework of its rural agricultural.
This doesn't say like, is it gonna be open like 10 to 9 at night, you know?
I think it's just, it would probably be normal business hours during the day, so I'm thinking
Then
like
if there's-
9 to 5, and then if there's cultural activities, probably maybe different times, on different nights or maybe weekends. I did reach out to them to find out, because it is an 8,400 square foot building. It's a very big building. They actually have 2 floors. So they have the walk out on, I think it's on the front of the building too, for the downstairs. And they're planning that to be their cultural center events, doing, utilizing that space for that. And then the upper part will be their administrative space. So there is something in the code, entirely understand it, about, how much usage of the space would be deemed for, limited industrial or commercial, vice versa. So, that is something that the planning board will determine too. But, other than that, I mean, it's already existing, it is for sale, and
And it's in the high tech.
it is in High Tech
Yeah.
Park, yep, right, kind of right in the middle, right before the turn.
So it's not like what we just talked about. It's not right next door to people's.
Right,
No.
yes, no,
The
no,
only thing I noticed too, it's got a huge, big paved wraparound parking lot,
yes,
but it's already.
It's already there.
it's already there, yes, yep.
And they're not asking to increase that.
I
Nope.
don't see,
No.
No.
all we're asking for is the permit to, you have a
Special use
To
permit.
utilize the space, I think more for, commercial versus the limited industrial is my understanding, but
Because, my dentist office is in that plaza.
Yes.
So I assume they must have a similar permit.
yes, I'm assuming, yeah, they probably have one on file.
So is there anything applicable for us?
No, they're not changing anything.
Yeah,
Yeah,
So
But if
really,
they have,
just the use.
I'm impressed. I think it's a great thing. I'm just wondering if they have 55 people, give or take. What are the, what's the septic situation?
yeah.
Now, that would only be at occasional events.
but if it was such a big building.
Yeah, I'm
it-
sure that was probably.
I don't know what the code is, but for every
Yeah.
square feet or something, you have to figure.
Right,
So much,
yeah.
right.
But for a building like that, you wouldn't normally expect that there'd be 50 people at a time. I think that's a
Yeah.
legitimate concern for us to raise, because we know it's not on a sewer. Maybe they're planning to bring in porta johns when there are special events, or maybe the system can handle it. I just think it's a question worth raising.
You could have a large building, but very, very
Yeah.
few people ever there.
But you would still have, to meet code, you would still have had to have a septic tank. Or septic
It would
system
have to be, based on the occupancy, right?
of what
What
the
the building was,
was used for,
right.
and
Well, it does say, so approximately 55 individuals will be on site at a given time, or no more than that. But it does say it is expected that during certain events held by AEDC, this number will increase with attendees of that event. But in no event will AEDC permit a number of individuals on site that will violate fire safety code or otherwise. So I
And
mean,
their fire safety code doesn't apply to the septic system.
correct.
They
No,
also
this
said
is
that
true.
they have access to public or private water. Does the water line go in there, or do they all have wells?
I think it said in there, I think
Don't
it's,
know. I don't think
public.
we've done this.
It said public or private, yes.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, so we don't really know what it is. If it's,
Don't you
it's
think
not-
it's public there? If there's a dentist there? You
I would think it's gotta be public water, but I'm sure.
I
it's-
would think
Where's
so
that big
too.
water map?
I would think,
And I don't know. I
would
mean, not the
think
one,
so, too.
not the big one, not the big one that I just brought in. That's the floodplain, right?
Oh, true,
Oh,
the
but I
water
don't know where
district.
The water district map went.
Okay.
I don't know. It went away.
but yeah,
Concerned about
Right,
this.
but yeah,
That's a good
the
analogy.
size of the septic,
I don't know what happened to it.
Adequate for large
Um,
groups.
Did that say in
Their
the,
concerns
in the,
as to whether
yeah,
septic system is adequate. That's. And if not, what provisions would be in place?
it's all good questions.
I just have a little tiny thing. Number 9, regarding the energy code requirements, the answer is no. The question is, I mean, I'm thinking maybe there's a language issue of some sort. The question is, does the proposed action meet or exceed the state energy code requirements? We usually see yes with no explanation, so we assume, okay, it meets it, doesn't exceed it, because they say if it will exceed, please describe. But they said no. So
Okay, we can just call attention to that.
Yeah.
I assume it's just,
So
Yeah.
what is that about though? It meets state, can you read it again?
does the proposed action meet or exceed the state energy code requirements?
What are state energy code requirements?
Energy Star? I don't know. Is
Oh,
is that what it's referring to? I really don't know.
We should find out,
Because,
but everyone always says yes and doesn't elaborate.
so that would be, well, that could be a lot of things. That could be insulation, right? And all those things to be an energy smart.
Yeah, and of course, the building is existing, it's not a new build.
Or
so-
does it mean that, all the switchboard's been updated and the PowerPoints are all to code? Like, what does that mean?
Yeah, it could have to be, there might be a maximum,
Yeah,
draw on
yeah.
on the electrical lines or something. Yeah, I think it needs to be dealt with.
Mhm.
So, okay, anything else that we want to?
I think it's an exciting thing to add to our community.
We want to say that?
I don't know, it's not a conservation thing, but
I think that's more personal opinion. Yeah, we better not.
Yeah.
Okay, so I move that we submit the comments of one, concerns as to whether the septic system is adequate for large events, and if not, what provisions would be in place. And question number two, we note that question number 9, applicant indicates that the plan does not meet energy code requirements.
I assume that's an error. But that should be answered, I guess.
Yeah.
Is there a second?
I second it.
Okay,
Any discussion?
all right. So Deputy Chairwoman Leaderman,
Aye.
Member Williver,
Aye.
Member Hope,
I,
Member Kraus.
Aye.
It's okay if I put the comment page to the plan or you want?
That's fine. Yep. Either way.
That way I don't lose it with other things,
No, that works. That works.
Okay, and next up is the Hughes lot line adjustment. Now, Sue was wondering exactly where this is. I guess we'll see.
Oh,
it.
this is telephone. Telephone?
Yes.
yes.
Yep.
Oh,
So,
is this a church?
No.
no,
it
there's
actually-
3 houses already existing there,
Yes,
right? Yeah.
yes.
Says
This,
adjustment of lot lines of 3 existing properties. The adjustment will increase the size of lot 1 by 0.847 acres and reduce the size of lot 2 by 0.13 acres and reduce the size of lot 3 by 0.709 acres. No new improvements are proposed.
right.
How do you do that when houses are already constructed on each lot?
As long as
What's
they
the-
remain, if they're in an R30, as long as they remain 30,000 square feet, they're okay. So basically, I don't know the reasoning behind what they were doing, or why they're doing this, but, lot 2 came into question that it might be under 30,000 square feet. So
Uh-huh.
I had to ask the town attorney exactly where the area of that lot fell, if it fell to the right of way or to the center line. And he came back and he said, well, the code is kind of silent there, but he said, because we go to the center line for everything else, for setbacks and that purpose, we would go with the center line on lot 2, which the area is over 30,000 square feet. So as long as the lots and the setbacks are all not being hindered it's,
So it was, the catalyst was that one of the lots was not adequate.
we thought
Mm.
that was gonna be the case, but it actually, they are lowering it, for lot 2. We had to follow up with them. They did on the application, there was confusion about the lot sizes and what ones were being limited and, or, downsizing and which ones were being, or increasing. And, so lot 1 is,
That's the little one, right?
nope, that is the,
That's, yeah. Oh, it isn't this one?
yeah,
Sorry, 7 acres.
lot 1 is this one in the corner.
That one.
And right now, the lot line is here. And they are going to be decreasing that lot, oh geez, I can't keep it open, to here. And then this lot 2, which was the one we had in question, right now it extends out here. And that is actually going to be cut right here. So, but because it is 0.815 acres of land to the center line of the road, it does meet the 30,000 square footage.
This is the house in the.
So really, the only one that's expanding is going to be the big lot 3.
Like, if this was where you.
That is going to expand.
Yeah, because these 2 properties are diminishing.
We're like you that we're used to having.
It should be the opposite.
I don't know. I have no
I agree
clue, but
too. I
know.
know what those people are thinking.
I'm not really sure whether maybe both of these properties are going to go up for sale. I really can't tell you. I have no idea.
So they're actually making,
The
they're
big
making
one
a small
bigger.
one small, okay.
And then
Yeah.
Now, which
Yes.
is 3? I'm confused.
3's the large,
Three
the
is
large,
this
the
one.
whole thing that encompasses around all of that.
Okay. And so they're gonna make this one bigger
Yeah.
and that one.
I think that's why we were so
It's got
confused,
dots in the
because
side.
they were making the
Isn't
smaller
this the
lots.
one that also had a problem with the dotted line versus the solid line?
Yes, yes.
Oh, I
It's
imagine,
the whole
I imagine
report.
this was farmland.
Oh, like, I don't know.
Yeah, which is existing and which is not.
Yes,
I'm just
Yes.
interested to know what this is. What's this?
A
it's
barn.
a little
Sorry, that was a-
existing barn. Yeah,
I wonder if they had to move lot lines because of that too.
well, I think because it was already in a large lot line, like, or, it was closer to the barn before. I think it probably was, I think a side setback is only 25 feet. So I'm
Must have
sure it
gotten any-
probably was fine. But when we first looked at this plan, we thought that that was going to be the new lot line, that it was going to be bigger. And then John said, all right, we got to check and make sure that that's 25 feet from the line. And I was like, okay. So I went to them and it was just very confusing at first. It was a little like, we just were kind of scratching our heads, and the planning board looked at it and they were scratching their heads too. So
It just
I
does,
followed up with them. and-
in some ways, it does become a catch-22 on a lot of these, because they ask for these changes. They say no new development is planned, no new improvements are proposed.
Right,
There's no way to hold them to that.
right.
And obviously, they're asking for it for a reason. Now, maybe the reason is not to put development on it, but you have to wonder if it is.
Yeah,
Because then they say that it's not proposed, but the next thing you get is a proposal.
right.
And well, you must have, I actually heard that said once at a planning board meeting. Well, but you approved doing this, you must have known that I was planning to build something on it, so
Yep.
you set the stage for this proposal.
Right.
Even after.
But
they
then
say-
the big one, it's not increasing substantially, is it?
No,
None
no.
of it's moving
But
much.
the other 2 properties do have existing houses on them. So
Right.
that's why I'm wondering if maybe they talked with, well, I think the person that owns all of the major land around, and I don't know if she owns the other pieces too, is Nancy Hughes, so I don't, they're all under her name, so must be she owns all of them. And whether or not the two properties are gonna come up for sale, that's really all I can think of.
But if they came up for sale, how would that benefit them to be smaller? To have the,
She's getting more land
Well,
out of the
maybe
deal.
she.
The owner's
right.
getting more land out of the deal.
Maybe if she's renting, we don't know, maybe if she's renting these
And maybe,
houses or whatever, and she's
Yeah.
gonna sell
How
it.
much are these houses?
so she owns those.
Yeah,
two
I don't know.
properties.
I'm
Well, that's
not sure, to be
that's-
honest.
just what we're,
Very interesting.
because
Yeah,
no other names are there.
Well,
I must- she must own-
15, I think,
she
telephone
owns
road,
this
right?
one. Yeah, she owns this one, so.
Yeah.
So either it could be family members or it could be that she's renting.
Mhm. Yeah, I'm surprised, I didn't realize how many homes in Rush were rented.
Really? Yeah, I wouldn't have known. There's quite a few. I know
Well,
down
more
here.
than, I didn't expect that, I didn't expect any.
Yeah, I
Oh, yeah, one is
I
even more.
know all the ones down along this area are mostly rentals and I was,
Mhm.
In the
Interesting.
hamlet,
yeah,
yeah,
I didn't realize
there
that.
was one across from Jimmy, but not anymore.
Right, right. Is there-
That's
So
good.
1215.
No, actually, they were great people.
Oh, they were?
And they had horses and they took the horses away.
But the owners,
There's one
Well,
on
right,
my
but the
road.
renters
that's a
were
rental.
great. Yeah.
I'm sorry, that
There's one on my road that's a rental.
Really, which one?
Yeah. It's the one that sits down there by itself, closer to
I
Lions.
think, well, yeah, the ones that hold it.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are,
Yeah.
he's got several.
Yes, he
deals there.
does. It's right around.
And I didn't forget, a lot of times, sometimes he's rented them out until, I think at first he rented some of them to the original owner. He bought out the owner, added it to his property and let the owner live there. and
That
then
was
tore
true
it down.
when Don Glick, yeah, when he lived
Do-
there.
We have any questions?
Yeah, I don't know if we can raise the question or not as to, I think.
Why?
Yeah.
No, we can't.
Well,
we-
1215 was built in 2006. That's the large, I think that's the large one.
Mhm.
And it's worth over a little over. So, according to
The
Zillow,
the large lot?
yeah, according it with the house.
I thought there
According to,
was another house on lot.
This one.
Yeah,
Oh, I see. Okay, it looks like it's, yeah, it doesn't.
look at this
it- it-
picture,
it doesn't
Judith.
have-
If
It doesn't
that's
have the
12
detail.
if that one's 1215, if the large lot is 1215.
See,
I don't think I think it's appropriate to just mention in our comments what the purpose is.
Yeah, it's 1215.
On this page.
mhm.
Yeah, so she's got this and she's got this, and that's not unusual though.
Right, it's not.
It's very pretty.
Okay, so I guess we have a point of discussion. Do we want to raise a question as to what the purpose is?
Well, just because of what you said before, about, that person. Say, well, of course I'm gonna change it or do something, so,
But we can't hold them to it.
no.
Well, actually, yeah, he said it after, at the time, he said he wasn't planning to do
Right.
anything with it. Then, within a couple of months, he was back with proposals and he said, well, you must have known that I was planning to do something.
Sly.
there were contradictory answers regarding sensitive environmental areas. They answered yes from the short EAF to 12D.
Okay, now, let's see. Now, they say that there's rural and agriculture, no forest or aquatic. Wait, yeah, I mean. Well, they got it adjoining or near, I guess it's on her property, so.
12D. Answer no to wetlands sometimes and yes to wetlands, but they don't identify them.
It doesn't, I really didn't notice.
There's a pond, if you look at the aerial
Oh, yeah.
view.
Yeah, there's a big pond, but
It shows on the map,
It's a water body.
Yeah,
But
That looks
maybe
like
I'm,
it was dug, doesn't it?
yeah, maybe I'm ignorant. I wouldn't call that wetlands.
No, but it's a water.
Yeah.
Oh, not necessarily a regulated water. Okay,
Don't you think that was dug?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
so it wouldn't be regulated.
That's why I think it was a farm,
Yeah.
because this could have been an irrigation pond.
yeah, well, at the moment, there's nothing that would approach on the water line. Because they're not showing, we don't know what they're planning to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
But even once it's there, and it's still an environmental feature, no matter how it got there.
Yeah, and it says on their environmental addendum, no to everything.
But.
Well, it's a water body, but not a wetland.
But here it says, physically
Right.
alter or encroach onto any existing wetland or water. body.
Oh,
So-
oh,
Not
okay,
reading it.
yeah.
And which is the one, Marjorie, you're saying they said no to everything?
The environmental addendum that we asked for, they said no to everything. It was on the second page of or the second full page of the application.
Oh, losing track of it. What's what here? So there's this one? Yes, I see what you're saying. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
For
so they said
environmentally
no. and-
sensitive features, right? And we have to comment on that.
Yeah,
Thank you,
yes.
Pat, and thank you, Marjorie.
Yes,
They also in 12B. Somebody, I don't know if it was the EAF mapper, said yes to archaeological site.
oh, yeah. Yeah, yeah, this says no as well.
So, let's see, for starters, should we say applicant gives contradictory information regarding existing environmentally sensitive features, including water bodies?
Yeah.
And
And
incorrectly states that there are in one section.
Unless the detail has to do with whether it's a regulated water body. Because there's that terminology sometimes.
Yeah, but it's not on this one where they said no.
Good stuff.
Right, yep,
And that takes care of it.
yep.
Yeah, I think as Sue pointed out, we can be more specific. So applicant provides contradictory answers to questions. Regarding water bodies.
Number 13 says, does any portion of the site, maybe this was what you were talking about, Pat? Does any portion of the site of the proposed
Yeah,
action or lands
environmental
adjoining the
definitely.
proposed action
Are-
contain
right.
wetlands or other water bodies? And it says yes.
Yeah, so they contradict themselves.
Yeah, so maybe that was the mapper though. that Came up with it.
Be addendum. So I'll read this back. Yeah, so really, what I would suggest, because so far I have applicant provides contradictory answers to questions regarding water bodies and archaeological or historical sites. Incorrectly states on addendum form, an addendum that there are no environmentally sensitive features. I would say applicant should submit corrected data for further review by the Conservation Board.
Yeah, but. Would we be holding up?
Well, the planning board will also look at all of that too. And that is a public hearing this month. That's already scheduled.
So they probably won't grant this, our suggestion, but.
Well, They
maybe
have
they'll
the
inquire.
ability to,
There's a
yes,
public hearing for this.
yes. Yep, you guys always see the applications that month. Yep, because they have to go through PRC meeting, and that's where we determine if the application is complete. Then it comes to you before or after that process is done. Just so we have all of the corrected information
Right.
for this board.
Okay, so, I'll read that, the whole thing back in a moment, and, do we want to say anything about raising the question as to what is the purpose? Beth, you said yes, Sue, you said no.
Yeah, I said no.
Well. It's not,
Okay, as I think, since we are raising questions.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think that almost one sort of leads to the other.
I mean, if all of the newly formed lots are all correct in the size that they're supposed to be, none are too small.
Okay. Okay, so applicant provides contradictory answers to questions regarding waterfalls and archaeological or historical sites. Incorrectly states on addendum that there are no environmentally sensitive features. Applicant should submit corrected, clarified form for further review by the Conservation Board. I move that we make these comments.
All right,
Second it.
okay. Okay, so Deputy Chairwoman Liederman,
Aye.
Member Williver,
Aye.
Member Hope,
I,
and Member Kraus.
Not gonna happen. Right.
you don't think they'll change the line?
I don't think it'll come back to us.
Oh,
because planning
right.
board-
Yes.
But
Yeah,
at least
well-
it makes the planning board perk up and.
Right, right.
Yeah.
I like that.
They were surprised, sorry, that we took action, submitted anything on an informal.
Oh, yeah, and
That's funny.
I look at it, and I mean, yes, it is an informal review. Again, it's a hypothetical, but at the same time, your concerns should be noted before they review it, because that way they
Right.
can include your concerns before the project even happens, you know? I mean, these are things that should make the applicant aware as to, okay, this is something that I need to look at, you know, this,
Right.
you know, I don't think, you know, I know what you're saying too,
Was
but.
that for the dollar store?
No, it
No,
was,
it was, Ellison.
Ellison, yeah, the Ellison,
Oh, yes.
subdivision.
But, you know, and that was well said, Marjorie, thank you. And, also, you know, and if we didn't, the applicant could say, well, why didn't the Conservation Board say anything about this? when it
About
was in
our
the
project.
informal Stage? Why did they wait till we spent money on?
Yeah, much better to
on
do
putting
it
together
informal.
a plan? Yeah.
Dollar General was an informal review all last year. It came before you guys every time that they came back,
Yeah,
so,
and we specifically made that request.
Yeah.
that We want to see everything.
right,
Because, I mean, that's part of our purpose, our service to the town.
Yeah.
And why would we say, well, we're gonna look at this, but we're not gonna look at that?
Right.
When there could be environmental effects on all of it.
Mhm.
Okay, so we've covered new business, any old business. I didn't have anything to put on the agenda, but if there is any that I neglected or that you're remembering or has come up again since. I guess maybe, you know, so we don't have, I guess maybe I should have put this on here, because I'm remembering about Grove Road. And you said your excellent reflection of what we talked about, Beth, and the response seemed to be that it was gonna go forward.
Right, well, Pat, you commented too, it was an
You have to
email,
Go well.
yeah.
It's, like what is it, 2 acres? I think they're,
It's basically I don't think it's a large piece of property, but it is needing to be accessed in order for, you know, and there is the proposed, I mean, I don't have anything formally either, but there is a substation, a company that's looking into putting the substation there to help with the solar farm draw. So, I mean,
it's gonna happen.
it's gonna probably happen just because they
It's the-
will need that right
It's the
away
right location
access.
and it's technically not usable property because it's landlocked.
Right,
Isn't it heavily wooded?
that I don't know. I'm
I
not
haven't been
familiar.
there, but Marion always.
I don't know,
Yeah.
it seems like
Beautifully written.
instead of selling it, give them the right of way, right? They can use it, they can access it, but
Well,
preserved
I
trees.
think,
you know.
I think another part of it, and I could be wrong on this, but, from things that I've heard, it could become a liability. It could be a liability.
Dan's response to this.
Yes. Yeah, maybe that was where maybe that's where I picked it up.
Yes,
I can't
yeah.
remember, but,
Last time when you were saying something about, playing.
like
or
walking or,
Walking around there.
yeah.
No.
Just because it's going to become even more so utility usage in that area. That was, and it would become a liability for the town. For, if anybody gets hurt out there or, and that's why I don't think that has ever been a heavily like promoted walking or anything
Anything, yeah.
area.
No.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be
So-
on our town open space index though?
It might not be,
It
if it's
be-
not accessible.
Right, it's not. You'd have to trespass to get to it.
Some
Yeah.
people do that. See it right now, right? What I gather, people do
I don't-
trespass.
I don't know because
People
I don't
walk.
live down there.
From what I
I-
had heard from one resident that they did, but they did walk out there, but I
But of
don't.
course, it's
fully know.
more of a liability if the town then sanctions it. So,
Yeah,
as opposed to people.
So, but that's what's gonna happen.
That's the whole business. Beth and Pat, anything on the Monroe County Environmental Management Council?
Well, neither of us attended February. The meeting topic was making sense of sustainability and HVAC. It was tailored heating and cooling. There are no minutes yet,
Right.
right, on that meeting, so I don't have anything to report. The next one is March 19th.
And they have not announced the topic. I cannot go. That's the-
Oh, it's, no,
Okay.
I looked up, it is residential stream bank erosion, and Buckland Creek.
Oh, I thought that was,
That's in March.
thought that was February.
No, February was the sustainability.
Did you check any more about the recycling? Of the waste?
No,
Like kitchen waste?
that's
and
still, that whole project was just in the beginning stages where they were.
But I
there were-
didn't know if you checked with Lori's Natural Foods to see
Oh,
if what they do is if what the
they,
committee
no, you
was
know what?
talking about.
Until you just said that,
I mean, not
completely
that,
forgot.
not that if, cause I'm
Right.
still gonna do what I'm doing.
Right,
But I just didn't know if it was
There was
just on a
something
bigger scale.
Yeah.
I don't think Lori's is affiliated with that project right now, but I could be
Well,
wrong.
It's Lori's is just a go-between. I pick up my empty pail there and outside I drop off my full pail.
Yeah,
So all they're doing is collecting the $10 for the pail. They're
Right.
not doing the
Going forward.
composting there
Yeah.
you know,
or off-site. They have nothing.
related to all this, I just saw something on the local news tonight, but I was doing other things. I didn't get all the details. With schools in this area trying to cut back on food waste.
Oh, it's just, I cringe.
Yeah.
I
That's a good
cringe.
place to start.
And we have kids that have to do senior projects and they do senior projects on recycling. And I'm thinking, why don't you have a food waste?
Someone.
But you know what? Kids don't know.
No.
They're just, they wouldn't be able to do it. Unfortunately, you'd have to have someone standing there
Yeah,
and telling
To
them
tell-
what goes where.
right.
That's
Yeah.
what we do at A Horse's Friend when the kids are there for the camps. Cause I was just, I
You
mean,
have to tell adults that.
I don't believe in throwing away anything. There's another use for everything. And they were throwing away apples that had not even had a single bite taken.
Yes,
Oh,
oh, I've
is that
seen it.
okay?
It's
The horses
so
would love
true. Milk's unopened,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So.
yeah.
Down at people watching carefully and the kids learn that.
Right.
Like,
Right.
maybe they don't value an apple or milk or something, but there's value to it and we're not just gonna throw it away.
Yeah.
But also for waste in school, hospitals and nursing homes, it's just
Yeah.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
I believe Monroe County Hospital was one of the, it's kind of a pilot program and they were sending out surveys. Is this something interesting that the people will participate in? And I think Monroe County Hospital was one in the
Sure.
whole food waste and.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
So,
Well, because it's like, if, even if that's given to somebody, they don't even touch it, but
You
it's on
can't,
their tray,
right.
you can't take it
Yeah.
back and give it to somebody else. So, I
Right.
mean, there's, you know,
There's rules,
there's
right?
rules, right? But at the same time, you're like, oh, but it's not.
But at
being
least,
used,"
at
you know,
least
it's
it could be
right.
done properly. And I mean, our kids even use paper trays
Oh,
that I'm sure could be recycled.
recycled, right.
And they all go
Oh, isn't it?
to
Yeah.
the garbage. Oh, it's just sickening. It's just sickening.
so just to finish that, on 4/16, the meeting is still to be determined. And if anyone ever has ideas, because we can certainly contact, his name is Haynes, he's the program committee chairperson. Things that, we want to see addressed in these meetings, so just let me know.
Yeah, well, I'd like them to address if they'd ever be willing, that thing I brought back from Chautauqua last year.
Yeah.
You know, instead of putting in swales, to put in environmentally friendly, I think I still.
Oh, that's right. Dave
Yeah.
said he had it. It's different grasses and flowers,
Right.
right?
Yeah. 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 Like on the banks, right? Of the,
Right.
like, of the
So do
ditch
you
lines and
know
stuff.
I would need like a contact person, someone that would,
I took a picture of the sign on it. Let me see if I'm
Okay.
sure I still have it. If I
I'll just go on to briefly, the tree committee, Luther already said, and so they got the designation of Tree City. And that the 100-acre nature park, I mentioned this last week, it was in the minutes, but what the park is it's designated as a community forest. It's not old growth, but, it is a community forest and that is now going to be part of the Old Growth Forest Network. Which this organization, their whole mission is to create a national network of protected old growth forests. The only, and I checked their map, their interactive map, the only thing that's anywhere near close to here, besides the 100-acre nature park, is Washington Grove, which is designated old growth. That was
Yes, I was
interesting.
aware.
Yeah,
Do you want to take a picture of what she took a picture of?
yeah,
There are 3 pictures actually. They overlap. They didn't give a name, but it's, there's a name of the type of what they're doing, bioswale.
So I bet if you looked up bioswale.
bioswale, yeah.
They listed the plants that they put in it.
And it sounds like Dave got I gotta go get more water, a package. It came, his swale stuff came all together. I don't know how he purchased it.
Oh, I don't know. I don't remember him talking about.
I don't
that.
either.
could've-
He has it at his property down from where the eagles kind of nest.
Okay.
He's got so much going on over there. I walked by the other day and he was telling me all the stuff he's got going on. He's an
He's a
idea guy.
character.
He is.
He's a character.
There's 2 more if you want to see them.
Oh, I do.
Again, some of them overlap because I couldn't fit all of them in pictures.
Yes.
Can we return this to Sharon after we really have reviewed it, or did you want it?
No, you can, nope, you
But
can,
it does
you
say
can
that,
return it.
say I have read it or will read it.
So
Right.
After.
Yes,
Is there
or
one-
will.
yes, yeah, you
so
don't
if
have to
sign
give it right back.
You're not lying.
And,
Okay.
and Sharon's not even here for the next 2 weeks, so I
Okay.
think there's
I
no
will
rush,
read
but
it.
okay.
But you can sign it now because that's what it
Yeah.
says.
Because I may not.
Okay.
remember.
Oh, your house looks so nice.
Yes, and you want to
I
have that on.
took those Google guys.
But it is, it's,
You got all
it's
three?
easier for us.
Yes, I
because
got
we're
all
Here
three.
during the day, so, and you know, when they
Yeah,
were
I just
printing
was
them off, we
wondering
were
what
like,
the
oh,
other
I need
things
one, I need
were.
one, so yeah, I did look it
I
over
also
right
was
briefly here. And then I took it home, but I had signed our form, so we were good.
Okay,
Okay, so I guess we can, let's see, we don't have the code committee. We've
Nope.
already, the tree committee, does anybody?
that was just, I just briefly said
I
that the
feel the
100 Acres
trust.
Nature Park, it is inducted as a
You
community
trusted the
forest.
town too.
It's gonna go to the town board meeting in March,
Okay, and
because they have
I
to,
honestly didn't see a whole lot different
adopt it.
that I could remember,
It's gotta
so I
get
was
the
just like,
town board stamp of
well, what
approval,
part-time
but,
employees? Okay, we're designated as part-time employees.
yeah. The network for this,
That was a
Old
change.
Grove Forest Network is an amazing website, yeah, it's beautiful. So,
So any other business?
No, just, I was gonna mention with the EAC, because I didn't, EMC, because I didn't know that you were even gonna be here tonight. I highly recommend it. keepsmartmonroe.org for really comprehensive information on things like heat pumps. Beth and I both have heat pumps, and you have geothermal. So
I can't say enough good things either about Crossfield. They had Taylor presenting, but I was very pleased with Crossfield.
I thought that's weird. I've never heard of Taylor. I wonder how they picked them. We had Simply Installs out of Shortsville. Fantastic, so responsive. You know, any issues, we called in the middle of the night once in the winter when it wasn't working or something, just that one time. They wanted to come right then. And we said, no, we'll be just fine until you get here in another day or whatever. But they're really responsive
Mhm.
and we haven't, it was just that one night. We haven't had any issues at all.
Do you have solar panels?
No,
See, that's my big concern now that I've installed all this, with 25% tariffs on electricity, which we're probably gonna be directly
Oh, yeah.
affected by that in this area.
unless we are lucky enough to have hydropower from Niagara
Right.
Falls. and-
Yeah.
Yeah,
But,
that's what I said too.
yeah,
But it's
Oh, no.
that's a
I don't,
huge.
it's interesting. I don't know where National Grid gets our.
I think I've heard that, the Ontario mayor or whatever he is.
Yeah.
Mayor has retracted now.
Well,
And
is it the new one? I didn't realize that they were.
I don't know.
Yesterday, there was a vote. And
Oh,
that guy had resigned a month ago, and there's a new one.
Wait, Trudeau is out.
yes, he's
right.
gone,
but this
right.
is for it.
This is the he's
No,
the mayor of Ontario province.
Okay,
Yeah,
And I believe he retracted the 25% tariff on electric. I thought that's what I had read, so,
oh,
no,
that's
I
good.
heard today it's still on.
oh, it's
but
still there.
We'll see.
Oh, okay, all right. Okay, yeah, I know.
If there's nothing else, we'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Everybody seconds it.
I said I would.
I'm like, what should I write down? I'll pick a person, no.
Um,
All right,
That's interesting.
Deputy Chairwoman Leader.
Hi.
Yeah,
It's been sold.
yeah.
Hold on, we gotta finish the roll call.
Oh, sorry.
Okay,
Member Woliver,
I,
Member Hoke,
Sorry.
Member Kraus.
yes, it's been sold.
Do you know what the term is?
Not exact. I do